All right. I think we're good. Yeah, there we go. We had like a weird echo thing going on. Now we're good. We're good. We're good. Well, congratulations, guys, for getting up and not hitting that snooze button and getting ready to get after it. Hope you got your cup of joe for the morning show with Mule. Thanks for that, host, man. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get this party started. What do you guys say? Welcome to the morning show with Mule, and we do this every Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. So it's all for the early birds, right? We're getting after it. We got our cup of coffee. We're ready to go. We got a few things to discuss, a few things to talk about. So yeah, this morning I am rocking my Star Wars coffee mug, man. I love my Star Wars. As you can tell, I'm in the Falcon. So, but yeah, we're just going to be chatting about a little bit about positivity in gaming, what that means, a little bit about the difference between being a reviewer and being a cynic. And we're also going to maybe have enough time to look at a few clips. We'll see what we got here on the docket. So, so if you want to call into the show, just let me know if you want to be on the show, if you want to leave a voicemail before you call. But you can see the number up over here flashing ever so often. But if you'd like to leave us a voicemail to be used on the show, that number is 512-571-3907. And we will use those voicemails on the show if you have thoughts or if you have opinions or if you want to call in and talk about the topic we're talking about. You're more than welcome to do that. One of the things you're going to see also over my shoulder is the chat. It's where you guys interact with us so people can see what you're thinking, what you're saying about some of the topics we're talking about. And also, if you want to submit clips, we're going to try to do this. I don't know. It depends. This is pretty new. This is only our second episode of this show. But if we can get enough clips, we're going to do kind of a quasi, almost like ESPN type top 10 plays, right? So if you want to submit a clip to us to be used on the show, of course we credit you. I mean, there's no reason why we wouldn't credit you. But if you email us at themulebag at mulehorngaming.com, we can take those clips and use them on the show. So first of all, guys, I just want to say, how is everyone doing this morning? Man, I mean, for me, it makes it a little tough sometimes and to have excuses not to get up and get after it. Like, for example, this morning when that 5 o'clock alarm hit to get ready for this show at 5:30, I was tired, dude, because my kiddos were up at 3 o'clock, and I was like, man, should I just stay up? That's going to make for a really long day. Or, should I just try to go back to sleep, get one more hour in, and then here we go, do the morning show. So I decided to get an hour and then do the morning show. So I'm a little tired this morning since I've been up since 3. Thanks, kids. But I'm doing good, and I'm ready to start the day and kind of chat about some of these topics. So one of the things that I want to talk about, that for some reason, I have no idea why. I don't know why, man. But it feels like, at least feels, the feel test, right? It feels like gaming today is just so much different than it was like even 5 or 10 years ago. And what I mean by that is like the communal aspect of gaming. You look at media websites, you look at podcasts, you look at news articles, and it seems like everyone is talking crap about every game that's out there. And there's nothing wrong with bringing up criticisms. I think the biggest thing is, for some reason, some of the articles I read, the tweets I see and things like that, there's not legit criticism. It's just like, oh, this game sucks. Or if there is criticism, think about it from the perspective of, you're the guy that's making this art, right? You're the guy that's making this game. Think about it from the perspective of them. Like, how would they feel to hear your words? Well, I mean, it's tough to swallow the criticism, but at least give them what they should do to make it better. And that's what I see a lot in reviews. It's like, oh, this game is broken. They have so many bugs. They have this and that. It's not even worth playing. So that's all you'll get. And that's not really helpful. Like, hey, the developer probably knows about more bugs than you do. because they're the developer. They see the code, they do the code. So what I would suggest, if you're a reviewer out there and you're watching this, or you write articles like you can see on our website here at mulehorngaming.com, what you should do is take that criticism and then give them something to improve upon. Like, say, I would really like to see this. I'd really like to see this. This thing is kind of weird, but I'd like to see this thing. That would be my suggestion. That's what at least we try to do on our website. If we just kind of scroll down through here, you can see some of our reviews and things like that. You can see my Anthem review, which I gave it 8.5. And what's interesting, we're gonna talk about a couple of games a little bit later. We're gonna talk about the new solos mode with Apex, and we're gonna talk about the resurgence of Anthem. But before we do that, I want to stick on this topic a little bit about positivity. So what do you guys think? Guys that are in chat, just make sure you chime in. I mean, do you find yourself like sometimes just like really looking at Twitter or social media or gaming news websites, and you just see this plethora here? Do you even know what plethora means? Sorry, inside joke there on a movie, Three Amigos. But it's like, man, it's like, I don't know, man. Like the whole, okay, so I heard one developer say it this way, right? They're in the business of creating fun, right? That's what video games are. It's supposed to be fun. Whether it's like a simplistic gameplay loop or it's a complicated MMO or RPG or JRPG or whatever, right? The whole purpose of that is to create fun. And I feel like sometimes us as streamers or as gamers or as writers or reviewers is we've kind of lost sight of that, right? Like the whole goal is, did you have fun? Did it create fun? And so I found that's something that I ask myself quite a bit when I'm reviewing games or I'm looking at games. And maybe I'm just looking at it at a more simplistic point of view than others out there who review games. Because honestly, guys, I mean, if you want to go see someone tear apart like all the good and the bad with Anthem, you can find that. But I think sometimes people want just a general idea of like, hey, is this game worth playing? Is it enjoyable? Is it fun? And I try to do that when I review games. And I try to give them that critical points of view and also give them the positive, right? And it's just, and it's weird. It's just not cool to be positive, man. It's not cool to be positive. For some reason, like, if you're positive, then people just say, "Oh, well, man, you're just a bootlicker and you're just a paid shill or something like that." Like that's one of the biggest things. Like when I first became an EA game changer for the game Anthem, and we announced it on our social media, everyone's like, "Oh, look, Mule's a paid shill now," and I'm like, "Dude, what the heck? Paid shill, man? Like, I don't get paid to do this stuff." And honestly, and it's kind of almost a detriment because like if I have something sponsored by EA and I have to I'm putting out a video because let's say EA says, hey, here's Madden, you can have Madden, but if you do it, you make a video on it, you just have to put the watermark that says this video is sponsored by EA Game Changers. That's typically what you have to do. When I do that, most people will give me a thumbs down even if the video is good, just because they don't like EA. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, man. It's not cool to be positive. Like at least give the content a chance, right? So there's this really, really great video here from the Joe Rogan podcast, and they had Kevin Hart on. I don't know if we're going to listen to the whole thing, but I kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of what they're talking about here about positivity. Clickbait, man. Clickbait is like the thing, right? So I want to show you this real quick, and I'm gonna kind of leave it on the smaller screen so we can interact and talk while it's going, rather than just switching to the big screen. Mm-hmm. And that right there, guys, that's what we see so freaking much in gaming, right? Like there's so much, and we're just going to pull out the game Anthem, for example. There was so much criticism on Anthem. There was so much criticism on Mass Effect because it was a cool thing to do. People got clicks because people want to see the developers in the game. They want to see that, right? They want to see it crash and burn. Yep. Yeah. I like this example right here. This is now keep in mind as he's talking about this is like, in my opinion, this is almost like Reddit in a nutshell, right? One person says one negative thing and then everyone jumps on the negative train, right? Like again, I'm not trying to say like criticism is not good, but it needs to be a good criticism that gives them feedback and says, hey, these things I would like to see changed. In a development process, that doesn't always mean that they can get to it immediately. Sometimes it takes a lot of rewriting the code, getting the foundational things changed in the game. But just keep that in mind as he's talking about this. Yep. This is it right here. And here's the Reddit part. See, that's exactly what I was talking about with the game Mass Effect, Andromeda, and Anthem. Is like people would I don't know, for some reason they gravitate toward that negativity, and so it's just not cool to be positive and talk about those good things about the game. What up, Bunny? How's it going, man? Appreciate the jumping in this morning. So that's kind of like what you're seeing here. Like, I mean, Kevin is kind of explaining that and saying like, some people can give their reasons, but it seems like the majority of people just jump on it because they want to be in that crowd, right? Here we go. And do you think that's the key? Do you think that's the key? Oh yeah, sorry about that. I had it muted.
I bet he doesn't.
So let me try this again. Sorry guys, a little technical difficulties this morning.
Why? You ain't like Titanic?
Here, okay. So
Wow.
let's just go back
Titanic,
right here.
One of the biggest movies of all time.
And he's talking about how it's cool not to be positive.
This is a great
Thank you, Bunny,
example.
for
How
saying
you have
that.
people, me and you can talk about a movie, right? We can talk about Titanic. Wow, man, Titanic, one of the biggest movies of all time. Fucking great movie. Yo, yes, it was a great movie. And one guy, for no reason, go, I fucking hated it.
This
Why?
is
You
Reddit
ain't
in
like
a nutshell
Titanic?
right here.
Fucking bullshit. Why? Man, I know why. Now tell me, why'd you hate it? I ain't got time to talk to you about that.
Yep.
The cool thing is just being different. I wanna be completely opposite.
And here's
than all
the
these
key. And he
positive
talks
people.
about
You know what?
how
No.
everyone will
That
just
shit was
jump
ass.
onto that. You know?
Why? Why was it ass? You have people that just like to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And what happens when one person does it, another person for no reason all go, yeah, me too. Yeah, that shit was ass, man. I ain't like it either. Did
See,
you
and
see
that's
it? What y'all
that's the
talking
thing
about?
right there, man. That's what we're kind of talking about a little bit this morning. Is that it's this weird thing, man. Like with like Anthem or Mass Effect Andromeda, whatever. Fill in the blank. No Man's Sky. For some reason, people want to see those games just like crash and burn. They just want to see it crash and burn. And sometimes we as gamers or people who are on social media, or writers for articles, they don't think about like, okay, this developer spent all this time. Let's give them some constructive feedback, right? Not just say like, oh, this is ass. This game sucks. Like, well, okay, legitimately tell me some of your reasons why it's not good. Give me some of those reasons so we can improve the game. Because, you look at No Man's Sky, came out in what was that, 2016? Looks great. Can't wait for the patch itself to drop. Oh, yeah, man. The actual patch for Anthem is out right now, CF Bunny. It is out right now. So you can go and play the second week of the Cataclysm. But yeah, man, so it's like people just want to jump on that train, right? Like, it takes one person, keyboard warrior over on Reddit, like, man, I really hate this. This sucks. And then everybody's like, yeah, me too. Like Kevin Hart was saying, like, yeah, me too, man. Yeah, me too. Well, did you play the game? Yeah, I spent an hour in it. Okay, well, you probably need to spend a little more time in it so you can kind of give me more feedback, right? At least I know from a developer point of view, that's what they want to hear. I mean, with the ones that I've dealt with, and I haven't dealt with a ton of different ones, mostly indie developers, a few bigger developers, but it's just funny, man. Oh, the No Man's Sky, yeah. Today, yeah, I am ready to jump in No Man's Sky, CF. Like, dude, that looks interesting. I played it before, but now that you're gonna have the social aspect of gaming, it's gonna be interesting. But it's just interesting, like how, like. See, okay, so I haven't read the notes yet, so that's going to be interesting because I felt like the mining was a little tedious at times. So I'm going to have to read those in a few. But yeah, man, so like for some reason with games, we've lost the fact that games are supposed to be fun, right? So what you'll usually hear from me is the fun factor, right? Is the game fun? As I was saying earlier, the developer says, like, the developer I knew said they're in the business of creating fun. A great game for that, right? That I can give an example of is some guys I've gotten to know over at Solar Purge. The gameplay, it's just basically almost like a horde mode gameplay that you can play. At least what you're getting right now on the beta. But the gameplay repetitive loop is just so freaking fun. What up, lady? Morning. It's just so freaking fun. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think that that Solar Purge is going to do so well when it releases, because it has that fun, repetitive gameplay loop where you can just get in and play and play and play and still have fun, because there's just massive explosions. The gunplay is really fun. It's a top-down isometric shooter. So yeah. So thanks, Bunny, for that. The notes there. We'll take a look at those in just a few. But yeah, it makes it so fun to be able to it's repetitive, right? It's a repetitive gameplay. We're going to pull these notes over here because we're going to look at those in a few for the No Man's Sky. Thanks, Bunny, for that, man. But even though it's a repetitive gameplay loop, it's just, that's the thing, man. Gaming is supposed to be about having fun. And I don't know, you guys chime in and chat and let me know what you think. Do you just find that, like, communities, writers, reviewers just tend to be overly critical sometimes and don't really give us an explanation of why it's crap? Like, I mean, listen to Kevin again. Like in this one part where he's talking about Titanic.
Yeah, that shit was ass, man. I ain't like it either. Did you see it? What y'all talking about?
Right there. Did you see it?
You don't know what they're talking about.
What are you talking about?
But you just want to hop on the negative train.
You want to hop on that train, right? And again, guys, like, I'm not saying that, like, you have to be overly positive about everything, right? Here's a great case. And I'm going to use my friend Dirty Bombs as an example. He, like, earlier in our podcast years, we'd tease him and say he's the negative bombs, right? Because he'd always be like, oh, this game, man, this part sucks about the game. This part sucks about the game. This part sucks about the game. But what was interesting about Dirty is that he would always say, and here's what I'd like to see, like, this and this and this, and I would like to see this. And as a gamer, as someone who has maybe a social media following, as someone who's a streamer, that's the most important feedback you can give any developer, is to tell them like, hey, these things are not doing it for me, but if you maybe did this, it might work better. Because you're seeing a classic example of that with No Man's Sky. Like when it came out in 2016, everybody's like, oh, you promised all these things, it's not there. They just couldn't do it, right? As a developer, they couldn't do it. And, now here it is, 2019, and they're putting in all these amazing things that we were hoping for. So on that train of thought of positivity, right? We're going to talk about a couple of games, and I'm going to give my critical but building up and giving good feedback of a couple of games that just had some recent updates. You played over 80 hours of vanilla. See, that's the thing, man. If you had fun, quote unquote, then mission accomplished. The developers did what was intended for the game. Think about it. People will play hundreds of hours of Candy Crush, right? But for some people, that's fun. That's fun. But so for me, okay, so one of the things that I try to do, for example, is we have a lot of people in our Discord that really, really, really love Destiny. Right now, I'm just holding out for Shadowkeep. Like, I need new content. When I see them enjoying the game, I don't go in there and rain on their parade, because there's this another weird thought and idea that, hey, you can't have fun at a game if I'm not, and it's like, if I'm enjoying Anthem, then people got to crap on my enjoyment and say, oh, why are you playing a crap game, dude? There's so many bugs in that game. It's not fun. Or why are you playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, dude? That's such an old game. I'm like, well, I'm playing it because I have a lot of fun. I get to swing lightsabers, and they have lots of cool content that's free. Just let me have fun. There's this great meme that goes around every once in a while where it has a guy like grabbing the lips, and they go, shh, stop making them stop having fun, or whatever. I don't know how they say it, but they're basically just saying, let them have their fun. Like, why do you have to crap on their parade, kind of a deal. But yeah, Bunny, I kind of agree with that too, man. Like, it happens. It happens. Developers sometimes overpromise because they can be ambitious. So, you definitely have to give them feedback on that. But again, it's that constructive feedback, right? That's what most developers are looking for. Because think of it from the viewpoint of you of a streamer. You don't want someone just to come into your stream and say, oh, you suck. Okay, well, if you say my stream sucks, tell me why so I can make it better. What are some things I can do better at? Is it the uhs? Is it my scenes? Is it like my interactivity with the audience? Like, what is it? So if you think of it in your own perspective as a streamer or a podcaster or something like that, you got to think about that. And lady, it looks like you're jumping in the Discord. You have some thoughts on this. So I'm gonna bring you in real quick here, lady. I'm gonna bring you in so that you got some thoughts on this topic of positivity. So first of all, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can. I'm going to turn you up on my end, but you're good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm actually glad time. The gaming community as a whole needs a lot less negativity and a whole lot more, positivity, lifting each other up. When people come in and they complain about a game and they just lay down, oh, it sucks.
Right.
It's like invalidating all the work that those devs spent hundreds of, maybe thousands of hours dedicating their entire life. And I can't imagine what that feels like.
Right. I mean, and a great example is the article you just wrote about the Forbidden Arts. You got to review that game. And I love the way you put it. You said like, hey, there's some great things here, but man, sometimes it's just a little too hard.
It is. And what was wonderful about that is I got a response from the developer. And they made changes to the game. They released a patch a couple of days later. They've updated the game to make it a little easier, to make it a little more intuitive. That's what positive feedback. That's what constructive criticism gets you.
Yeah.
They're more willing to listen if you're not bashing them.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's good to hear your feedback on that too, because it's just a weird thing, right? Like, it's a weird thing that, like, in the gaming community, where you almost have to be either way overly positive or you have to be super extremely negative. There seems like the pendulum is not in the middle anymore.
No, it's really not. It's really not. And I know you brought up Anthem and you brought up Mass Effect Andromeda, and to be honest, those are two of my favorite games. I don't play
Right.
plethora of amazing games that are out there right now, but I was on board with Anthem from day one, and I love that. I think it is amazing. I mean, I would just be happy just flying around the map. Like, I don't have to kill anything. Like, it's so beautiful and it's so masterfully done.
And we kind of talked about this the other morning as well. That's just part of the progress of being a developer, right? It takes time to implement and put things in that we want into the game. And so, like, with Anthem, you hear Ben Irving talk about it, and Chris Schmidt and a couple others on their personal Twitters. It's like, hey, they had to build the foundation. Now they can start throwing out this amazing content like Cataclysm and other things that they have planned.
Exactly. It takes time. It's they don't walk up to a keyboard and just kind of tap three keys and hey, a game's done. It takes a long, drawn out process, and most of these developers are thinking 5-6 years in advance of the game release. And it does. It takes a lot of time, and I'm eager. And we can bring in Destiny with this one too. I'm eager to see what they do with it. I know that there's a plan, and I'm on the edge of my seat with Anthem as well. I can't wait to get into the Cataclysm and tear it up.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
And Destiny has a live stream that's going to be today, so that's going to be really interesting to kind of see what's going to go on there. Like, I'm excited, and I hadn't been in Destiny in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and it feels so good. I took a long time off from Destiny, and it feels really good to be back. It feels a lot like Destiny 1 again. Like, it really has that nostalgic, hey, I like this feeling.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, lady, thank you for your input. Is there any other thoughts you have on just the positivity, negativity thing that we see happening in the gaming community?
It really just comes down to, and not just the gaming community, like everybody, just love each other. It's not, you don't like a game, that's fine, man. Love the man that does. It's all groovy.
Right? Let people have fun. It's like, man, yeah. Well, lady, I really appreciate you calling in and jumping in the Discord with us here on the morning show. I know you're driving into work, but it's good to hear your thoughts as well.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and thanks so much. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. And for you guys that don't know, Lady, she writes on our website. You can go check out one of her most recent articles. You can see in front of me here about the Forbidden Arts. It's actually a really cool game. I played it a long time ago when it was a closed beta, but go check it out on the website. Awesome. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one, lady.
You too.
So kind of moving on to our next thought here is with the games Anthem and Apex, right? So one of the things that I wanted to say about those games, I wanted to give some critical feedback, right? So I am a big Apex player, as most of you guys know. Like, I love shooters, right? I love just like blowing crap up and shooting the things, right? Well, they have this new mode that came out, right? The solos mode. And I was really excited to jump in and play it. And I got into it, man. And it felt just a little too campy for me. It felt, I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to be a little positive here, but it kind of felt like a PUBG game in a Apex skin. I mean, I literally had people that were hiding in bushes waiting for you to run by so you could shoot them. And it may not be the game mode for me, right? Because I like the faster pace, like let's go, let's shoot and loot and scoot, as I say. Or as my friend Sploom Gaming, when we play together, he's like, man, Mule, I always know you're fixing to go and loot the stuff I'm trying to get because I hear your octane saying faster, faster, faster. So if you jump into Apex, I'm just going to tell you a couple of things. Expect the pace of the game to be slower. You're going to actually need to do a little more, as my friend Sploom says, tactical waiting. You're definitely going to have to be a little more tactical waiting, or camping, as I call it, pitch a tent. So you're going to have to, find the high ground. You're going to have to camp out. You're going to have to wait for that. You're going to have to be the guy that comes in and third parties people. Unfortunately, that's just what that particular game mode is promoting right now. Maybe unintentionally, but you see that in PUBG as well, right? PUBG, you play solos. Everyone plays the circle until, there's maybe 5 or 10 people left in the game. And then you start getting a little more combat and gameplay. For me, that's not the fun part. Like, I want the combat and the gameplay the whole time, right? I want to fight. I want to loot. I want to have a chance to maybe make it this epic play. I don't want to wait to the last second and sit in a corner for 20 minutes until the circle is down to the last 3 or 4 guys. But that's just my particular style. Some people really like that. They like the tactical waiting, and they like to just kind of play the circle. And more power to you, man. So if you enjoy a little bit slower paced BR than the Apex on Xbox, at least I haven't played it on PC yet. But on Xbox, you'll probably enjoy it if you want to just kind of slow it down a little bit. So the other game I want to kind of talk about a little bit before we dive into our next topic, and that's actually going to be about Mixer, as we see right here in front of us over on the interwebs, is Anthem, right? Paul Tassi recently had an article that came out that said that he's enjoying Anthem more than he's enjoying The Division 2. What? I mean, what? Is this clickbait? What's going on here? What? I mean, this is the same Paul Tassi that was dogging the game so bad. What up, Dark? Morning, Miss Sir. So it's just interesting to see this change of events. And this is something that Chris Smith, and I don't know if I can find it on his Twitter, that he talked about. He actually responded directly to Paul Tassi, talking about Anthem. And it's one of those things we were talking about on the show yesterday about patience, like being patient as a gamer. Because developers just can't snap their fingers and the game's exactly how they want it. And developers are the ones that want the game to succeed the most, right? Because it's kind of their baby. And so here's the tweet right here, right? Here's the tweet. And Paul Tassi says, I declare with a straight face that Anthem is better than Division 2 right now. Which is, I mean, Division 2, I'm wearing a Division 2 shirt right now. Right there, man. Like, Division 2 is pretty fun shooter. It's really fun loot. Like, the loot rains for days, right? Well, this just goes to show you that, like, as gamers, we need to keep in mind when we're giving that critical feedback. We're talking about positivity, how to give feedback, not to be a cynic, but to give critical feedback to help their game get better. And that's what people have been doing, at least some people, not a lot of people, but some people. And then Chris Smith said this: we worked really hard on content which we thought would surprise and delight fans while trying something a little bit different. Lots of ongoing work to do. And it's not the fix everything patch, but a sign of what the team is capable of delivering. Check it out. I couldn't agree more. As you guys know, I am a EA game changer for Anthem. I've gotten to be really, really close friends. I wouldn't say close friends, but I'd say, what's the word for it? Like, where if you're friends with your a colleague. There we go. The word was escaping me for a second there. A colleague. I've gotten to be pretty close colleagues with both the community managers, with AJ and Jesse, and those guys are great, right? And it's just funny to see, like, for me, and I've always kind of said this, is that, you know, Anthem has good bones. It has some of the best moment-to-moment combat in a game you will find, right? It's just, it feels so good. And Orbit, what's up, man? Welcome this morning. Thanks for joining us. He says critical feedback equal bad connotation, corrective feedback equal good connotation. Hey, that's a great way to put it, man. That is a great way to put it. And you know, and that's like, you look at Anthem and you look at, like, they had to move off of Reddit. Like, the developers were really active on Reddit. They were really active on the Reddit Anthem Discord, and too many people just jumped on that hyped up negative train, right? They weren't giving the corrective feedback. I really love that Orbit. I'm going to start using that. The corrective feedback of, like, hey, these are some of the really good things about the game. Here's some of the things that not so great. You know, we need to get changed, right? And they're doing that. They started from the ground up. They've made the game a lot more stable. I mean, last night I still had a few game crashes that were bugging me. But when I got in and started playing with Scarecrow and Lupo to the rescue and Nate Johns, the editor-in-chief on our website, I had a crap ton of fun, man. The gameplay loop is great. The combat feels great. There's now loot in the game. So I've been really enjoying it. So I'm just going to encourage all you guys that whether you're watching this VOD or you're watching it on YouTube, if you kind of put Anthem on the shelf, you know, because there's nothing wrong with that, right? Games have an ebb and flow, right? They come and go, they go up and down. If you kind of put it on the shelf and said, I'll wait and come back to this in, you know, a year, it's a good time to pull it off the shelf and start playing it again. The same thing kind of happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? Where just the developmental cycle of it took about a year to get to where they really wanted it to be. But once they got there, it's a really good game. There's a lot of free content in that game now. Like a lot of really free and good content in the game. And I feel like Anthem is almost on that same developmental cycle where in about a year from now, people are going to look back and be like, why did people hate this game so much? And I don't know if some of you guys remember this, but it was actually on Twitter and social media, and I think Paul Tassi and a couple other people actually wrote about it, about, you know, in hindsight, looking back, Mass Effect Andromeda is not that bad of a game. But for some reason, the masses and social media attacked it so bad that the game, they stopped developing on it because it was such a bad reception. Or at least perceived as a bad perception. And then when people actually started playing the game, like, hey, this is, I mean, it's not Mass Effect 2 or 3, you know, but it's not a bad Mass Effect game. It's a good reset, you know. It still feels like Mass Effect with fresh new faces. There's no Shepard, but it's still enjoyable. So the same thing with Anthem, guys. I'm just saying, if you get a chance, take it off the shelf, play the Cataclysm. There's some really fun mysteries and things like that. We're only on week 2 of, I believe, 8 weeks of content you're going to have in that. They really, really did a good job with how they've done the war chests and things like that. So I'm really enjoyed that. All right, so we're going to move on because we don't have a lot of time left. Also, guys, thanks for, if you want to submit clips, you can submit clips to us to be used. We're going to try to do this eventually when we get some clips of kind of a top 10 plays from all you guys in the community. If you want to submit them, just send us an email to mulebag at mulehorngaming.com. I'm going to put it here in chat for you guys that are watching the show now. Bag at mulehorngaming.com. There we go. So if you want to submit clips, it can be any game. Just submit them, and then we'll showcase them here on the show. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching previous episodes, or you're watching us live, and you want to call in and talk to us, we do accept call-ins while the show is going live. You can also leave us a voicemail anytime you want. The number's 512-571-3907. Dark says, I think so much of the hate does come from how long it takes for the game to be polished after release. People expect a full, more complete game at launch. And I agree with that, Dark. I agree with that. The problem is a lot of us gamers, you know, because the average age of a gamer is like 35 now, right? That's the average age. we're used to the old days, right? Of NES, Super NES, when a game came out on a cartridge and it had to be good to go. There wasn't any live updates you could do. The game development process now is so completely different, so much deeper. There's so much more going on in games now that's almost required for it to be an online game so that they can update it as they go, right? Because there's just so much to it. There's so much to it. But I completely agree. We just don't see the games like they used to be, where it had to be all together in a single product, and if it didn't sell, then you're out of luck, right? So yeah, man. So this last topic here, because we got about 15 minutes before the show ends, is this tweet from a really good dude, really good streamer, Kevin, or K Magic, and he talked about something interesting here when it comes to Mixer, and I kind of want to talk about this because most of the people who are going to be watching this are going to be streamers, right? So you're my audience. I'm talking to my audience here. And there was this thing about, Ninja came over to Mixer. There's a lot of people that are checking out Mixer now. There's a lot of people that are coming from Twitch over to Mixer. And this guy, I Am Brendan, said this. He said, I'll be honest, I find it really hard to find variety streamers to watch on Mixer. I'm not a fan of BR games, which is the main genre. I've been watching lately to get a feel of Mixer as a viewer. So if you're a variety streamer, blessed. And he goes on to talk about it. And then Kevin actually says, sums up my fears with Mixer. Press on, variety casters. Press on. And I just want to say, okay, I get it, guys. Like, it's like, as a streamer, you commented on that Orbit. Let's see things. There it is. Everybody I love that, dude. You said right here. Let me highlight it a little bit. If I press any harder, I'm breaking something. That's fantastic. A little shout out there to Orbit. But yeah, it's like it's just funny because it's I'm trying to think of how to word this, but other than something cheesy and catchy like "be the change," right? Be creative. I think one of the best things that you can do as a streamer, as a content creator, sometimes is to step back. Step back. Take a couple of days. Don't think about gaming. Don't think about streaming. Just take a minute. And what I found is when I'm just like resting or taking a minute, the creativity just comes to me, right? Like, oh man, And for example, one of the things that we strive for on our channel here on Mixer and on YouTube and things like that is to have it almost like TV programming, right? I'm giving you a little insider creativity information here. It's almost like a TV programming, right? We want a morning show. So here we are, the morning show with Mule. We want game stream. So you can see us stream games on Sunday, Monday, and periodically through the week. Just kind of a TBA type of thing. We have a podcast on Thursday night, so you can watch a podcast on Thursday night. So I think, sometimes for us as content creators and streamers, if we just take a minute, we just kind of step back, you'll see some of that creativity come to you because, with Ninja coming to Mixer, and I commented to this about with some of our writers and some bros in Discord, and the thing that worried me was that, all right, man, Ninja is a big Fortnite streamer, and you even look at the top games right now on Mixer, Fortnite, because partners, whether it be non-partners, they're gonna feel the pressure to stream Fortnite because Ninja is going out and hosting people, right? And he's bringing in 22,000 plus people. You feel my opinionation coming? Hey, man, feel free. Jump in, give that opinion, man. That's what it's here for. It's the morning show to discuss this stuff. So this was my worry, is that, I knew Ninja was going to come over and keep streaming Fortnite because that's his main audience. After a little while, he'll probably start mixing it up and streaming some other games, right? Well, now the pressure's on, right, for non-streamers and streamers alike to either be playing Fortnite or Apex, because those are the things that get you the most views, or PUBG, right? It seems like that's the thing that gets people the most views. like a morning show like this is not going to get as many views as someone who's doing Fortnite. Maybe it will if you get featured or something like that, or you're like a big partner or things like that. But we need to have more creativity on Mixer and not just playing video games, right? So I was talking about earlier, we kind of want to make the channel like a TV program, because what's gonna differentiate you from other streamers out there? Because everyone is just sitting in front of their camera playing a game, right? You're just sitting here, you're like, I got my controller, please like, subscribe, follow, here we go, I'm gonna play Apex, watch me. I'm not as good as some people like Shroud, but watch me, you know? And people like Shroud, the reason why people watch them is because they're so freaking good, like professional gamer good. So you are just, and I'm just being honest here, maybe 10% of us are can hang with someone like Shroud, right? It might eventually, yeah. Orbit, you said a lot of Mixer streamers are going to need to up their game. One of the big differences between Mixer and Twitch is most Twitch streamers have got the polished lockdown on their product. Yeah, I think, as like Nate says, it'll come with time, because a lot of people, Orbit, I think, that come to Mixer are looking for a change up or are new to the scene. Ninja's bringing in a lot of new eyes. So, yeah, man. So, you know, it's just, I was saying, what's going to differentiate you from just sitting here like, I'm playing Apex, guys, I'm blowing stuff up, pew, 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 you know? It's going to be your personality, your programming, something that's a little bit different than just streaming a game, right? That's one of the reasons why we started the morning show, so we can chat with the community, talk about topics, maybe help be the change, buzzword, right, on Mixer. And, you know, I'm not going to get as many views doing this early morning show as I would if I played Apex. But you know what, man? Someone's got to step up somewhere to create a little more variety on Mixer. And my hope is doing this every morning, people will start catching on, and maybe they'll be like, hey, do you see that Mule guy doing a morning show? Man, I could do that, or something similar to that. And maybe we'll have a little bit more variety on Mixer. But what do you guys think? I mean, I would love to see more stuff, because like, look, I'm looking at the featured right now, right? And it's all just people playing games, which, you know, granted, it is a streaming platform for games, right? But I would like to see a little bit more variety. I'd like to see a little bit more of, like, maybe people playing music, or maybe people doing a podcast, you know? See, here's the thing, is like, you have to scroll to the third column for just web shows, right? For web shows or anything like that. And maybe that's just the name of the game. More people are just going to stream games, right? Since it is a streaming platform for games. But I don't know, guys. I mean, I would love to hear your feedback or any voicemails for the next show, kind of talking about, like, you want more horror games. Yeah, right, man. Like, Dark, start streaming some horror games, you know? That's the best way to kind of, like, start getting that going. I know when we do Star Wars Sunday, I'll look in the directory for people who are streaming a Star Wars game, and it's maybe a handful of people playing something different than these top 5-6 games right here, you know. So typically it's going to be Apex, it's going to be PUBG, and it's going to be Fortnite, maybe Black Ops. Those are typically your top 4 games you'll see listed on Mixer. Paladins, exactly. Paladins is another one that's up there. So we need a little bit more variety, man. And the only thing I can think of to say to encourage people to do that is buzzword, catchphrase, be the change, right? Start streaming some other stuff. And that's hard though, like as a streamer, right? Because like, you know, you have that urge to, man, I really want to pull the views, or maybe you're making a push for partner, and you just need more concurrent viewers. So you're going to stream the game that's going to get you the more concurrent viewers. So, oh, that's Fortnite. I'm going to stream Fortnite. Ninjas came on. There's more people watching Fortnite now, right? So it's just going to be, yeah, and I think that's a bad move as well, man, because what happens, Orbit, is that let's say you do get partnered. Now the majority of your audience is going to want you just to stream Fortnite, right? Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck playing a game that you may not like. And that would suck, right? That would be like putting me in Minecraft. Mule in Minecraft does not work. Like, I need explosions and fast-paced action, right? I mean, I know a bunch of the Shed Bros really are loving Minecraft right now, but I can't do it. I need some type of mystery or exploration or something. So, yeah. But if you guys would ever want to jump in on the topics that we discuss in the morning, I'm always in our Discord, so you can always jump in there and chat with us there. I can pull you up into the stream chat, or you can call us and leave voicemails as you see popping up over here over the interwebs camera there. So as we finish up here, let's take a look at this No Man's Sky Beyond, this update. Now, Orbit, maybe does this require any kind of, like, is this more of a VR experience or just a general update for the game? Minecraft Jenkins, dude.
Enough talk.
Leroy Jenkins. That's totally me, dude. You know it. I just do it. So, I have no idea. I've only played... Okay, so this expands the multiplayer experience. And they actually have virtual reality that's with it as well. Okay, that's cool. Well, let's look at this trailer. Let's let me cut the music here. Let's watch this trailer and see what it... Let me full screen it here. Let's just watch the trailer together here real quick. Morning coffee. What up, dude? I mean, that looks good. We're basically here just watching someone run. Okay, we got some ships landing. It's a little bit better. Some animals. A few people. Oh, he's riding like a little horse thing. That's cool. One more game you want, right, Coffee? I think the biggest thing that's going to help this game is the social aspect. Because gaming is just so much more social now, you know? And having that social aspect is going to really help this game. That's cool. Underwater. I didn't know you could go underwater. That's cool. Looks pretty cool. I may have to jump back in and try it out. I know a few of our bros in Discord, and Lupo and the other guys are playing that. So, yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. Looks pretty cool. Virtual reality support. That's without compromise. Switch seamlessly between VR and standard gameplay. That's awesome, dude. Oh, dude, see, this game in VR, I think, would be pretty amazing to experience. If I had a VR headset, dude, I would totally, like, do that. But these things are so freaking expensive. I don't know if I could ever swing a VR headset. And you're going to get a social space, I believe. The max player count has increased from 4 to 8 on console and from 4 to 32 on PC. Wow. Just for VR. Bunny, you'll have to let me know, man. You have to let me know how it is in VR. Maybe put out a YouTube video for me or something. I want to see that. Cool. This is pretty awesome. I actually think I'm going to jump back into this, man. See what's going on here. See what all the... Oh, here's the social hub it's talking about. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. Looks pretty cool. That looks massive for a social hub. Got some teleportation terminals. The ability to summon it in space. Oh, cool. Like a bunch of really cool stuff there. Wow, awesome. Well, guys, hey, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It's almost to that hour mark, so we're going to start wrapping this up. So remember, if you would like to leave a voicemail to be used on the show, you can call us there. The number is there flashing across the screen. You'll see it here in a few. If you have any clips, it can be any game. If you have any clips that you want to use and see on the show, we will tag your Twitter and we'll say, hey, we featured these people on the show. So submit those to themulebag at mulehorngaming.com. All right, Dark, have a good one, man. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you guys are going to get after it today, blow some crap up. Peace out, guys. See you, bunny.